Hey there, it's Mr. Tush over at Global, and this is our pinball project. What we have with the pinball project is really a simple pinball game. I click the green flag, and as I do, I use my right and left arrows to control the flippers. Eventually this ball will come down. Of course, the sample, it's not coming down. You'll see that if it does accidentally go back through the ejection hole there, it will get sent out through. And now it comes through and I can send it. My flippers do work. And it does pick random directions. Sends it off in different directions here. That's kind of what we're working with. Now, how does this happen? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to stop the game right there. And this is a huge piece of code right here. Big chunk with a lot of blocks. Goes on for a long time. And then we have this one green flag clicked here. We have this one green flag clicked here. And I could go over this, but I'm not going to because you are. I've got some code for the flippers. I've got some code for the launcher. And I've got code for different sprites that do different things. And all of that creates the game and the interactivity of the game. Now, the first thing I've given you is a form. First thing I want you to do is this form here called Pinball Project Questions. Answer those questions first. Take your time. These are short answer texts. If you've put in one word, you've answered it incorrectly, I expect you to explain your answers. So be sure to answer these questions completely and turn that in when you're done. And then after that, go after the Pinball Project. Save it under your own name and modify it to keep track of points. And then you're going to create user-defined blocks to create inside of a forever loop just to simplify the code. And then finally create one original enhancement to the game. So this is almost our second to last before our final project. This is going to be a project on how to create a pinball game. So again, let's go over this. Under modifying the game to keep track of points, that's not that hard. That one I'll let you figure out on your own because at this point you know you're going to have to do something to each of these hit sprites to make sure that they score points. Then it says you've got to create user-defined blocks inside of forever loop to simplify the code. I'll explain what that means right now. I'll even do one as a model. User-defined blocks, remember, are down here where it says My Blocks, and you have to make a block. And what I'm going to do is user-defined blocks to simplify the pinball code. And that's one of the things we want to do, simplifying the pinball code. So how are we going to do that? Well, I'm going to do one, for example, that is called touching green. And you'll see that it actually does check touching green right here. It's the first one I've got to make. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to go over here to My Blocks. I'm going to click check touching green. So there it is. I've now got this check touching green and I've got to define it. Well, I want to use these blocks right here to do check touching green. So I'm going to pull this out. Of course, it grabs everything and I only need the touching green section. So I'm going to put the rest of it back. I'm going to stick this under here. That's great, but then I also have to put the block under the forever loop at the very beginning. Now with each forever loop after the green flag is checked, we're going to have a check. It's going to do check touching green, which is all of that. Set this up according to the directions for touching red, touching purple, and pardon the typo here in the graphic, but it's touching blue. So I have a check for red, green, purple, and blue. And notice that it does something different on each one of these. Hope that helps. Best of luck. There is a lot of figuring out you have to do on this. So do feel free to ask your partners and your elbow partners and table mates for help. Best of luck to you. Good luck.